evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel and smash that like button right meow. You know you're gonna have a good time. Just getting my chat room open. Pardon if you hear me twice for a second. Okay. I listened to my update video back. I had to, turn off the AC to make sure I couldn't hear it in the recording. I had to turn off my AC to make sure I couldn't hear my AC aircon. But yeah, I couldn't hear it. I moved something because like this is starting to get a bit warm. It doesn't feel like there's lava on it. I went to the show last week. I had to put an actual fan. I mean, I've got the cooling fan under it, of course, but an actual little mini fan blowing on it because it got to 91 degrees Fahrenheit in here. You can't do that to my electronics. I can handle it. My laptop doesn't understand. Oh, what's up, Thomas Collins? Oh, one to go to says you sound nice. Thank you. I realize I didn't make my honey tea beforehand, so I'll try to mind my voice, make sure it doesn't get too crunchy. Should be okay. I do have an energy drink on the days that I go live. Again, you cannot find the Rockstar Silver Ice in Walmart for nothing. So I put in we were just talking about, we always end up talking about totally random stuff in the Twitch chat room at the other show, and it got on the subject of health, which it often does, you know what, a chat MD. And folks mentioned black seed oil and oregano. And I'm thinking what like the spice? How do I take that? Do I put it in water and drink it? But apparently it's a liquid. So they mentioned somebody mentioned a brand. Looked it up, and it's these little gel caps that have them both in it. So I ordered some of them. I've got those on the way. They're arriving early next week, and got some of the Rockstar that I can't find in the show in the store. Thomas Collins says it's getting good on the show. It really is. It really is. Like I say, episode 239 is what really got me hooked, and we're just diving into it. Where I'm personally doing reviews. The next episode that I watch and take notes on, not this show for the next show though, that is going to be that's another one of my favorite episodes. Oh, let me make sure. Is this in the middle there? I don't know, man. Okay, just that's gonna bother me when I watch it back if it's not in the middle. Yeah, I moved something to try to make it a little bit cooler over here. I don't think the background is moving, so that is fine. And I gotta get my chat rooms back up. There you go. Patrick says, "Hi, Nikki. We are live now. Yep, live for the actual real show. What's up, Dandy? How's it going? I don't know if you were here before when I was working out with my microphone, because before I had to go live beforehand just to know how crummy and frying bacon during a tornado sounding it was going to be for 2 hours, so I wasn't surprised when I watched it back. It doesn't do that now, but I totally miss going live before I'm actually really live. And so that's why I do those. And, plus I had to try out with the air conditioning to make sure I didn't hear it. So I kind of have to. If it was up to me, I would do like a balcony chat, maybe a full 2 hour show, and then do a review all all in one night. But this is a laptop; it literally can't handle that, and I just don't have the equipment to be able to do that. And I mean, of course, I'd take a little break in between to use the facilities, grab a drink. But since I can't do that, I kind of get it in before the show. One to go to says, doTERRA oregano essential oil with micro beads. Like a Beanie Baby. It's this I forget the brand of what it is. It's I think it was Jeannie Yankee fan who recommended it, and also Ozone, is that his name? He's got a kitten, so I'll ask him about that sometimes. But I looked it up when it was when I was sweating balls and got that ordered that night. So that stuff is on the way. They will Walmart, not Walmart, but Amazon's usually pretty good about delivering my stuff. They get it to the right building as opposed to Walmart that just sets it anywhere the fuck they want and tell you it's delivered, and then you have to get a refund because they're just it's so hard to get the yellow paper that I use to take my notes, like the kind I like. The last time I had to buy some, I had to get it at Meyer, and I just don't like it. There's too much space. Like at the top, so I actually have to like handwrite a line. Otherwise, there's just too much space up in that top margin that's just going to waste. So it's I don't like to I like to have lines to write on so my handwriting doesn't go down to a slant, but I don't want to waste any extra paper. So I hate that I have to do that. And the stuff that I could buy at Walmart wasn't like that. So I actually went in there and got a little 3-pack instead of the fucking 12-pack that I ordered. They never have it in the goddamn store, but it just that's my own nitpick thing. Dandy says, I watched episode 244 and 245 today. Oh, nice. Those are really good. There's a lot happening, and it seems like there's a lot of cliffhangers. Things are getting tense at the old house, things are getting tense inside Collinwood. Oregano oil is my go to as aromatic immunity boost when feeling pro pro prodromal symptoms of a head cold. One to go to says, yeah, because they mentioned gut health. Dude, I've been exhausted since April of 2025 when my knee blew out. I just can't. That's why I'm taking so much. I wake up and I take 400 milligrams of caffeine, and then I don't always drink an energy drink, but I except this last week because it's been too hot. I usually have a cup of coffee, which that's not a terrible lot of caffeine. And like I drink water. I'm not a huge soda drinker. I'll want soda really bad, and then I drink it, and I wonder why I'm so sluggish and tired, and just like, oh, this is why I don't do this, and I'm still thirsty. It's Dr. Fabi. Why do I do this to myself? So yeah, I'm not like I don't buy it regularly. I know it's bad for me. I know. So I try to just drink health, and I'll drink tea, and I don't put like I don't put honey in it. If I make honey tea, it's just hot water with honey. I don't sweeten my tea. I don't put any sweetener in my coffee. I just drink it black. NT, what's up? So that, hey Nikki, I was gonna email you, like I said, but I seen you post on here that you lost someone your way. I didn't oh, I'm just losing my damn sanity. I don't think anybody's died, but I mean you can email me anytime. I was low key, I was thinking, crap, I felt too crummy with this heat to even check my email. I hope you hadn't emailed me last week and it's just been sitting there for a week. Like dude, I lose track of time so bad. And then like I get up later and later every day to try to beat the heat. So it's think anybody's died. Everybody, I was worried about Patrick, but he's right here, so it's okay. Yeah, yeah, I've gone through all the big losses, I guess. But no, but you can email anytime. Email me anytime. But yeah, thanks you. He says he's still here to support me. Yeah, thank you. It's yeah, maybe I worded something wrong and it came out the wrong way. Thomas Collins says, hanging tough going through changes. Yeah, it's just, it's just been here for a damn month and a half. Nothing is going right. It is, hopefully the air conditioning will help with this. Like it feels warm, but it doesn't feel like it's as bad as it was before. I don't know if we should put the cooling fan on it. Let me grab it. Where's my other adapter? Get in there. Let's see what go there. And plug it in. Okay. If I have to, I'll get my little fan that I had on it before. Oh, I can see my laptop. That's no good. Okay. Perfect. That's much better. Okay. Hopefully that will help to cool it down. It's just a cooling fan for a laptop. It's one little fan going on it. Okay, let me find my recap. So to recap my last review, David found Maggie at the old house, but he thinks that she's Josette. So you could have solved so many problems, guy, but you're just so stuck in your own fantasy world. You know, Josette, this is the longest you've ever spoken to each other. What's his concept of reality? I don't know. But want to go two pants off, right? So then Liz told Jason she cannot give him any more money. She's already opened a Swiss bank account for the man, given him cash. She's like, no, you're cut off, not one more cent. And then Jason turns around and says, we're going to get married. And that's where it ended off. I do have super chats opened up. I've got Venmo and Buy Me a Coffee. Those both go directly to myself. You're never paying for AI content. Your money stays in the United States. You're not giving Google 30%. I'm not spending it on hookers and blow. And I read your comment at my next show. I just really gotta look into getting some new glasses between like now and New Year's Day in October. That would be awesome. I probably shouldn't say what energy drink I drink. Maybe that's why people are buying it up. Uh I used to drink threes. I don't drink it now, especially since I found out the money goes to Nestle. But the Starbucks energy drinks, the mocha, that used to be my drink for a very long time. I don't guess they're still good. I don't know, but if you buy anything Starbucks in an actual Starbucks store, it goes to them. But all of the Starbucks products you see on shelves in grocery stores, that's Nestle, and Nestle is pure fucking evil. So do not give them one red cent. A lot of cat food is made by Nestle. So go to their website and they're like, here's our list of products. And that's just everything you never buy. So your Nescafe and all that stuff. Don't buy that. All right. So we pick up with episode 244. This aired on June 1st, 1967. It's still day 70. It's nighttime. We're in the living room. We pick up right from where Jason told Liz that they're getting married. Jason says, you look surprised. I'm sure when you think it over, you'll realize it's the only possible solution to your problems. Oh, if I didn't say before, Liz's earrings, they're the double pearls. Sometimes you can't see it because her hair curls around. It's like this little bit of a curl towards the front. Sometimes it covers it up a bit, but it's a double pearls. But Jason is dead serious telling Liz this, and Liz was just, you can't mean it. And she laughs at him. She rarely laughs. She laughs right in his face. She says, Jason, that's the funniest thing I ever heard. It's absurd. I never appreciated your humor before. Not the reaction I was expecting from her. I thought she was going to go off and, absolutely not and all this stuff, but she laughs. Good for her. Jason doesn't think it's funny. Says it's not humor. I'm telling you, there's going to be a wedding. Liz says you can't be serious. I'd die before I marry you. Jason says, well, let's hope we don't have to go that far. Liz says, if you're serious, you're madder than I thought you were. The thought of marrying you is inconceivable. I detest you. Jason says, you detest the man who helped you? People still wonder what happened to Paul Stoddard. The answer to that would cause things to happen. Investigations, trials, scandal, and eventually prison. Liz says, what you're saying is, if I don't marry you, you'll expose me. Jason, I recall a night 18 years ago. I see myself in this room, Paul lying on the floor, bloodied and dead, and you standing over him. Did you think you were an evil person that night? Liz says, I don't remember feeling much of anything, just a sort of a numbing shock. Jason says, because what happened wasn't planned. Liz, no. Jason, because if I thought you'd planned it, I never would have helped you. I knew what I was doing wasn't right, but then I didn't feel that it was wrong because I knew where the evil was with Paul Stoddard. You knew it, and I knew it. Liz, all right, you helped me. I probably would have called the cops, but what have I really gained? Jason said, oh, well, you will be able to raise your daughter and live in wealth and with respectability. That's what you owe me. Liz tells him, Roger knows what's going on. I can't transfer any more money. Jason, that's why our marriage would be an insurance policy for both of us. Liz says, I won't do it. You've pushed me too far. So Jason walks back over to the phone, picks it up. He says, then you call the cops and tell them you have a statement to make. Liz walks back there, takes the phone from him. She starts dialing. So then Jason takes the phone away from her. Liz says, what's the matter? Did I call your bluff? Jason hangs it back up. He says, no, I just think that you should tell Carolyn about what you did to her father first. You knew you'd have to tell her. After all, you did it for her. I remember you crying and saying her name over and over again. I wonder how she'll react to you killing her father. Liz says, leave me alone. I don't know what she'll say. Andy says, I'm glad they mentioned what Jason's blackmail was. Because at first it's like super vague. It's just like, I know something you don't know. And then Or like what? Because we've never seen Liz that nervous, and then it finally comes out, and he's looking around in the basement. Point Jason's down in the basement talking about it. I came here to pay my respects. So yeah, they keep bringing it up, but it's mostly because some people can't watch a soap every single day, so it's for the kids who couldn't run home right after school and catch it. Jason goes on. He says Carolyn could hate you for the rest of your life. Liz says that's a chance I'll have to take. Jason, you'd rather do that than marry me. Liz says I'd rather do anything than that. So Jason offers to go get Carolyn right now. So Liz is like, yes, you do that. I like Liz, like you think I won't? Starts dialing. All right, go get her. You're not gonna scare her. Oh, NT says, sorry if I was wrong. Got that wrong. My apologies. No worry, no worry. It's a good mistake to make. Nobody died. It's okay. It's maybe I worded something wrong. This damn he. Oh my goodness. It's just. I mean, like I got the AC now, but before that, it's. I mean, I can deal with the heat. I used to work in a factory that got over 100 degrees, and they had these giant fucking fans, but you got to understand it was just blowing bits and pieces and dust in your eye, and plus I had blown out my shoulder, so I couldn't have anything cold on me, and these fat bitches didn't understand that. So I'd be working there wearing a giant winter coat in July in 100+ degree heat. And if you drink water, and at the time I was drinking Powerade, if you stay hydrated you're fine. So I was there for 8 years, so I got used to it. So like I can personally me deal with the heat, but my laptop does not understand that. Okay, that cooling fan's helping out a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I notice a difference. It could be cooler, but it also could be worse. That's okay. All right. You'll be all right, sweetie. I could just work during the day and play Minecraft at night, damn it, but it's fine, it's fine. It's a work comes first. I always get at least one day in. So Jason leaves Liz in the living room, and he goes into Roger's study. Carolyn's sitting in there, she's reading a book, minding her own business. Oh, Patrick says, Britain's still failing. Some things never change. Things are getting kind of based up in over in Belfast, I've heard. Finally putting their damn foot down. Thomas Collins says, I love you guys. To Patrick, and Patrick saying it. Cheers, many thanks. Aw. Jason walks in. He's, Carolyn, your mother wants to speak with you. Carolyn just, all right, thanks for telling me. Closes up her book. She's about to head out. Jason, wait, can I talk to you for just a minute first? Carolyn just, oh, okay. Says, like, your mother's on edge about the subject she wants to discuss with you. Carolyn says, well, what's the subject? Jason says, I'd better let her tell you that. But just try to be understanding and don't get upset. Carolyn's, I don't understand, but, thanks anyway for whatever you were trying to tell me. She leaves the room. He was being very vague. So Carolyn, she already doesn't like him. So what the hell are you talking about, guy? Okay, thanks for the warning about whatever. deuces, so she leaves, Jason stays in there. So we're in the living room again, and Liz is at the worry window. There must be a nice breeze coming up from the ocean there, and she, just open it up, get some air, chill out. But that's where Liz is. Carolyn walks in. She says, Jason said he wanted to see me. You seem upset. Liz says, I have to tell you something I've put off for much too long. Carolyn, you're not going to tell me about the birds and the bees, are you? Liz says, this isn't any time to be funny. I have to tell you about my life, and that'll explain why I've lived the way I have. Carolyn says, you sound like you're going to make a confession. Liz, that's it exactly. If I don't tell you now, I may never have the courage again. We have to go back 18 years, when I was younger and happy. In recent years, my life's been anything but happy. Except for you. I've been existing in the shadows of this house. I have to tell you, it's the only way for me to stop punishing myself for the things I've done. Carolyn says, what have you done? So Liz, before I tell you, you have to know more about your father. He didn't know you. I was so in love with Paul that I couldn't think straight. He was so strong and dominating, he kept me off balance. I thought he loved me, but he didn't. He never loved me. He never loved anyone. Carolyn, this is too painful for you. I don't want to hear anymore. Liz, you have to know about Paul. I can't tell you important things until you do. He never loved you either. He thought children represented responsibility and took away his freedom. He never held you or even kissed you. And Carolyn's just getting upset this whole time. She stands up. She's like, please, no, stop it. I can't listen to another word. Just runs out of the room. So Liz stands up. She runs to the door after her. She's like, Carolyn, wait. He was a terrible man. He was cruel. And she's too far away. Honey, come back. Your dad was an asshole. Wait, let me tell you more. So I see why she doesn't want to hear it. Plus her mom's getting upset. So Carolyn's out. Patrick says, too many foreigners here and the government only making it worse. Yep, all of them need to go be shark food. Thomas Collins says, very much a part of my heart. This program is how we survived the Vietnam War and Belfast. I was David's age. Oh my God, yeah, bruh. So I'm pretty sure the actor is the same age as the character. So it's not like he's an 8-year-old playing a 10-year-old. It's not like he's 7 playing a 9-year-old. And I'm pretty sure he's the same age as the character he is on the show. So we get to see him grow up, and then it's kind of funny. If you watch a later on episode with David, and then you watch an earlier show with David, before his voice dropped, his voice is so high as a little kid, and then he's getting to be in a early teenage. Gets to be almost as tall as Carolyn. Carolyn runs out of the room. She runs right back into Roger's study where Jason's been hanging out this whole time. And she's upset. She's kind of shaky. Jason notices. He says, well, I see it went badly. Did she tell you about your father? Carolyn's, yes. She told me what a terrible person he was, and I didn't let her go any further. Jason, and that's all she said? Carolyn says, You told me good things about my father. Now she's telling me bad things, and I don't know who to believe. Jason, well, I want you to believe your mother, but you must understand how she feels after 18 years. Carolyn, there's something I have to know, and I want honesty. Did my father ever talk about me? Jason, incessantly. You couldn't shut him up. He carried a picture of you around in his wallet, and he'd show it to anyone who would look. Carolyn, did he ever hold me? Jason, of course he did. He said you were like a little papoose all wrapped up in your blankets. And how he'd kiss the little blonde hairs on your head. Carolyn says, So then you'd say he loved me. Jason, more than any other woman in the world, including your mother, but I wouldn't mention that to her. Carolyn, but I don't understand her. Jason, forget what she said. Try to remember the good things. So as he's heading out, he's behind her when he says this. He says, it'd be worth a lot to hear what Paul would say if he could see you today. He leaves her with that. He is such a dick in this scene. First of all, Carolyn knows better than to trust him, but suddenly she's just believing what this lying MFer has to say about her dad. I mean, it's tough because kids want to think that they're wanted. They want their parents to love them and be there for them. And when they're not, it takes a long time to realize that they don't care or they never cared or that they weren't wanted, any of that kind of stuff. And she's only 18. So, maybe when she's 28, she can process that and realize, oh, okay, my dad was a jerk and he left my mom and he really never loved me. But she's still quite young and not exactly that emotionally mature. So she probably hasn't put too much thought into the fact that, like, no, he really did not give two fucks about you at all. I'm sorry. So she's still stuck in that area where she really wants to believe, like deep down, he did love her. So she's just willing to believe what Jason has to say about him, even though she knows he's a liar and she can't trust any of the words out of his mouth. And he knows that, and he's just taking advantage of it. It's like, this is one of the cruelest scenes. Like, we've seen Barnabas be cruel, and this is a really short scene, but like the lies he's feeding her and the way she just eats it up. It's not necessarily that she's being naive. Again, like, kids want to think that they're wanted and their parents really love them, whether they're in the picture or not. And that's not. He is such a son of a bitch. Again, great actor, plays it so well, but it's a really cruel scene. Thomas Collins says he might be in Dragon Sage's band. They made an album. I know Dragon Sage's band. Is it Sex Witch? Like Sandwich, but not spelled the same. That they pressed like a vinyl album recently in the last couple of months. I wonder if he can get it in the United States because he's Canadian. You'd have to pay like jugs of syrup to get it shipped down here. I don't have a record player, but good on him. That's crazy. I hope it's a record and not, ooh, is it a 45? Oh, God, why did I think of that? Tell me it's a record and it's not a 45. Oh, I can't look at 45s. Oh, they freak me out. That hole in the middle. Sorry, having an episode. Oh, God, trauma. Okay, don't think about it. Just think about it. Oh, God. Oh, why did I think of that? Anyway. So Carolyn's left sitting there believing Jason and thinking her mom is just being cruel for the sake of it when really Jason's the cruel one. But so she liked what he had to say, but she's just confused. So Jason leaves, goes into the living room. Liz is sitting there on the sofa. She's kind of just lost in thought. He comes in and she looks up at him. Liz says, I couldn't tell her. She wouldn't listen. Jason, what next? Liz, I don't know. Jason, we'll make plans for the future. Liz says, well, you have to give me time. Jason, I can give you time, but not much. And we see Roger study for the credits. Thomas Collins says he sent me videos. It's an LP. An LP is that the long one or the short one? Just to know. I didn't know, and then I found out, and then I forgot. That's the big one, right? With the little hole in the record, not with the big. Oh god. Now I'm freaking myself out because the other thing that freaks me out is an old school telephone that's yellow, and I'm looking at this yellow paper. Trauma. So episode 245 aired on June 2nd, 1967. It's still day 70, it's nighttime, and we are in the old house foyer. And the first thing we see is Willie running down the stairs. He gets down the stairs and loops around like there by the banister because he's watching Barnabas come down the stairs. LP long play. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, it's a record, not a Nightmare Fuel record. Oh my. Okay, with a giant maple leaf in the middle. Okay, all right. Crisis averted. Oh, what's up, John Rogers? Glad you made it. Oh, if I didn't say smash that like button. Maybe I did. Do all that stuff that YouTubers usually tell you to do. But Willie's still on that turtleneck. But he looks scared as hell, and Barnabas is slowly descending the stairs, and he stops in front of Willie. He's still on the stairs, so he can look down at him more, like he isn't already taller than the man. But Barnabas says, I am a Collins, and that means I'm a man of my word. I promised the doctor you'd give him a sample of your blood. Willie says, I wouldn't dare. They'll know all about me. I won't let him take my blood. Barnabas, I promised, and I always keep a promise. Willie, why are you going to do this? You have as much to lose as I do. Please don't. Please. He turns away. He puts his hand on his head, like grabs his hair. Barnabas comes down the stairs the rest of the way. He says, I'm sorry, Willie. Now you must calm your nerves. The doctor will be here presently. Watch Willie's hair kind of flops back into place. He's got the prettiest hair. Barnabas says no, or Willie says no, please, just please. And we can hear him like breathing heavy a little bit when the scene cuts to black. It's I don't know what it is about this show, but when we could still hear sound when it goes black, maybe that's just a trick that always works, but it just makes it extra scary. The student is nervous as hell. John Rogers says, I live in Ohio, but I grew up in Ozark, Missouri. Don't you go back for a visit around like August? I swear that's coming up. So we're at the doctor's office and it's all cleaned up. And at first I was thinking, damn, that's fast. But then I realized, wait, he's got nurses or secretaries or something working there. So it's not like he did all the work himself. So everything looks normal again. But it's all cleaned up and Burke is there. And the doctor's like packing stuff up, like he's heading, filling up his doctor bag. Burke says, "Are you sure Willie's going to let you take a blood sample?" Dr. Woodard says, "Barnabas gave me his word. If Willie doesn't cooperate this time, he can be served with a court order. He could be charged with harboring a dangerous disease." Burke says there's more to Maggie's disappearance than a rare blood disease. Doctor says, "My main concern is trying to understand what I saw in her blood sample. If it's in Willie's blood, we'll keep examining him. Find out how and where he got it." Burke says, "Could Maggie's disease have been caused by a wild animal, like a rabid wolf? Victoria said she heard doggos outside the door, and then we found her with those wounds on her neck." Doctor says, "A wolf didn't break into this office and steal her blood sample. It was a madman who didn't want us to get a close look at those slides." Burke, "Why didn't Willie want you to take a blood sample?" Doctor says, "A lot of people don't like having blood taken. I can't see him ripping the bars off of that window, even in a crazed state." Burke says, "Victoria and I are going to have a drink later at the Blue Whale. Could you join us?" Woodard says, "No, I doubt it." Burke says, "I'd like to find out how you make out." That line out of context is so bad. Like, don't say that to a guy. Like, I thought you were on a date with Victoria. I'm not going to make out with you, but it's. I immediately took that out of context. But Dr. Woodard says, "Well, I'll try, but it'll be pretty late." Burke says, "Unless we find out exactly what's going on, no one is safe. Every time I look at Vicky, I get scared. What if something happens to her?" Oh, Thomas Collins says, saying to John, "You mentioned Silver Dollar City. I have family there. I'm in California." Oh, cool. What? Everybody's got family in the middle of the country and then they move away. Oh, Thomas Collins says he lived in Springfield for 5 years. Did you live anywhere near 742 Evergreen Terrace? If you've never seen the Simpsons movie, which spoilers, they kind of pushed that spider pig thing too far, and it's really not that funny. But it does have funny parts. One of the funniest parts is when they mention the four states Springfield borders. It's like Ohio, Arizona, Washington, Florida. I don't know. It's one of the funniest bits of the whole movie. And then a channel did do the research to figure out where exactly Springfield is based on the nature in the show. I'm not going to spoil that for you. It's on YouTube. You can find it. I'll put that there. Oh, just a second. I'm really not one for using air conditioning personally. This is weird. But we are in the drawing room, and the Dr. Woodard's sitting down. Barnabas is pouring a drink for him. He says, "I know this is a professional call, but I couldn't let you come all the way out here and offer no hospitality at all." The doctor thanks him. "This man is about to have to use a needle, and you're giving him liquor." Like, I'm sure it's just wine, but no, please, doctor, do this with a buzz. Like, she's just jabbing Willie with the, I don't know. Oh, John Rogers lived in Springfield for a few years before he moved here. Ah, bruh. Oh, Thomas Collins says, sounds familiar. SMSU. We made circuit boards. Oh, cool. Thanks for your service. We gotta have electronics. So Barnabas calls Willie down. He's, Willie, Dr. Woodard's here. Willie. A couple of seconds later, Willie comes walking in. So Barnabas says, oh, there you are. We shouldn't keep Dr. Woodard waiting. He's a busy man. Willie, he does not want to be in that room right now. He says, do I have to? Barnabas, look at it this way. You could help Miss Evans, and it may help you. Now, unknown to yourself, you may have some very tragic malady. So he puts his hand on Willie's shoulder to kind of guide him into the room, and then he's got his hand on his back. He's practically shoving him to the doctor. Like if I was almost waiting for Willie to start pushing back with his feet, and Barnabas was gonna have to start shoving the man, but like he's really gotta guide him into the room, get him by the chair, like are gonna body block him and everything, but he really does not want to be in the same room as that man. Barnabas says the doctor only wants to help. So Dr. Woodard has him sit down. So Willie is sitting, so he's on a chair. His back is basically to the camera. But he sits down, but he doesn't sit back. So he looks very tense. NT sauced up doctors. What else is new? Yeah, like he didn't have his flask on him on the drive up. So, I don't know if I could have any wine. I've been drinking whiskey ever since lunch. I know it's is it liquor before beer in the clear, beer before liquor, never sicker. How does wine fit into that? I don't know the saying. I don't know. I like wine, so I don't know how that would fit in. I'm not a beer drinker. That's beside the point. So Willie's sitting there, but he looks tense. He's got his arms on the armrest, though. So when Dr. Woodard says, like, give me your hand, I only need the tip of your finger. Willie's goes from his arms on the armrest to pulls his hands in front of him. Dr. Woodard says, you won't even feel it. Just look the other way. All you're going to feel is a pinprick. Willie says, no, please. Well, the doctor, grabs his wrist to get his hand. He's actually like, cleaning his fingertip with alcohol. He's not just jabbing him with a needle. He says, many people dislike giving away their blood. So Barnabas is standing right there, of course. He says, in a way, isn't that understandable? After all, blood is the life force. It reaches into the deepest recesses of both the heart and the brain. It is the familiar of our complete being. To surrender even one drop of it is to suggest a partial surrender of one's utmost self. Thanks, Barnabas. That was no comfort at all. It's like during the storm, and Carolyn is clearly upset, and Barnabas feels like it's the time to tell them about the night a girl chucked herself off of Widow's Hill, and here's Willie, scared AF to give away his blood. So Barnabas leans into that, like, yeah, you should be scared. Dude's so emo. Like, how can I make this worse with a story? I know. Like, thank you. Thank you very much. I was nervous before, and now I'm about to have a panic attack. Thank you. This is a great night. I'm so glad we met. But then we hear this like a snap or a click. I don't know what they're using to prick a finger with. If they're using some kind of little tiny pull punch machine to just prick the finger. I don't know, but there's this little sound, so Willie reacts to it. Dr. Woodard says, "Well, it didn't hurt that much." Willie says, "I shouldn't have let you do it." Barnabas, "You had no choice. Now pour the doctor another drink." So this is when he's just taking, he's just sort of smearing his finger on a blood slide right there, and doctor's doing that. And as soon as he's done, Willie stands up, goes over, pours him some more wine. But at first the doctor declines. He's like, "No, no, that's all right." Barnabas says, "Oh, please, just a little." So after Willie does that, Barnabas says, "That will be all, Willie. The doctor and I are both very grateful for your cooperation." Dr. Woodard says, "Yes, and don't be embarrassed by being frightened. I understand." Willie, "No, you don't understand." Barnabas, "Willie, that will be all." Willie walks out of the room. Too late now, man. Oh, John Rogers says, "That's called MSU now. I will be down in August." Yeah, I thought I remembered it was August. I mean, not currently August. I mean, when he takes his trip. So once Willie's out of the room, Barnabas asks the doctor, like, "May I see the slide?" Dr. Woodard says, "Well, there isn't much to see unless it's under a microscope," but he hands it to him. So Barnabas walks over to, like, there's that one candlestick stand that's on the floor, so it comes up so tall. The floor lamp, but it's candles. But that's sort of in front of the camera, so he walks up to that and he's holding up the slide to see it with some light behind it. He says it's like a delicate little flower painted on glass. Dr. Woodard's back there. He is sitting down, still packing up. But he's saying, "Yeah, even under the microscope, it has a certain beauty. The structure of the cells, the great variety of colors." Barnabas, "And you would like to see on that slide a repetition of what you saw in Miss Evans' blood?" Dr. Woodard says, "Yes. It's terrible to say you hope someone has an illness. If we can find out where and how Willie contracted that disease, then we could prove some connection between Maggie and Willie." Barnabas, "You don't really suspect Willie is involved, do you?" Dr. Woodard, "No, not really. But if the sample shows some marked similarities, then we'll have to look for other connections." Barnabas says, "I hope Willie has nothing to do with what happened to that young girl. I would find it very difficult to accept it, even in my imagination." So Dr. Woodard asks Barnabas to keep Willie around the old house until he examines that slide. Barnabas, "I understand you're afraid of contagion. But please be careful. From what I've heard, a very dangerous man is interested in what you're trying to do." Doctor says, "If man is the proper term." Barnabas, "Whoever he is, he must certainly be, at one and the same time, more than a man and less than a man." Doctor says, "You seem like you're almost sorry for him." Barnabas, "The truth is, I loathe him very deeply." "Oh, what's up, Lisa Gray? Glad you made it." Says, "Hey, just got home. Hopping in, taking a seat at attention." "Yeah, just slide in, get comfy." Willie just gave the doctor a blood sample, and he was super not cool with it at all. And Barnabas just made it worse. Like, don't have anxiety around this man because he'll just, let me tell you about a story. Like, no, no, please, Barnabas, don't. Like, I don't care how nicely it's worded. Like, if you're afraid of heights, I'm sure he's got a story about that. Like, oh, dude, don't stop. Read the room. So at the Blue Whale, Burke and Victoria are there. There's a few other folks in there, but they're sitting at a table, and Burke offers, ask Victoria if she wants to dance, and she's like, I'd rather just sit here. These days, no one's going out at night if they can help it. So Burke tells her, I want you to do the same, unless, of course, you're with me. And whenever Victoria's on a date, like she's got her hair up, she's got some earrings, a sleeveless dress. She looks really cute. I mean, she looks cute any other time, but her work clothes are a little bit big on her. Just slightly. But whenever she goes on a date, like extra makeup, hair up, earrings, all the extras. Like she said, I just can't forget that night when I was with Maggie and there was the howling, and I went to call you, and then I couldn't get back into her room. And Burke says, okay, let's try to forget about it. Victoria says, like, can't forget those gashes on her neck. And the Burke says, Vicky, stop. We agreed. Victoria says, you're right. Maybe we should dance. Oh, Lisa Gray is saying that the number in John's handle is her area code. Yeah, I guess it would be since it's Alaska. Hey, why do we have all the high number area codes? Just because we were one of the last states? I see how it is. So they stand up to dance, and Victoria's still a little just tense. Burke says, relax, will you? And Victoria says, I'm sorry, I just can't. Burke says, we'll try. Victoria says, maybe you should take me home. It's late and I have to get up early. Burke tells her the doctor said he would drop by with some news. Victoria, will that make much of a difference if Willie's blood corresponds with Maggie's? Will that find her? So then she stops dancing. She's like, listen, didn't you hear anything? No? In the distance. Howling. Like, we don't hear anything, but she must be tuned into it. Burke says, I didn't hear anything. Victoria, you didn't hear it the night Maggie was attacked. They kind of gloss over this, but it's sort of like before when Victoria kind of broke down with Roger, like how she's just barely holding it together, worried about Maggie. And I didn't notice it till I went through it this time. Like, she's low key got PTSD. Her friend was abducted. Now she's just missing. So yeah, I'm sure she's always thinking about the night where Maggie was taken, and the howling, and seeing the wounds on her neck the time before that. And so, like, if she hears any dogs at all, I'm sure it just gets her on edge and just takes her right back to that night. And so, of course, she's gonna be hyper tuned to hearing that. So, but Burke just kind of glosses over it. He says there were always some doggos acted up on the farms outside of town. Victoria's like, yeah, well, why don't you play some music? Something good and loud. Burke, oh no, this is gonna be soft and soothing. And you're gonna listen to it, and you're not gonna hear anything. You're just gonna dance with me. And then now we hear there's some howling going on, and so Victoria's tense again. Burke's kind of being a jerk. Like, okay, let's dance. No, I don't want to dance. They finally do dance. He's telling her to relax. She's saying she can't. Yeah, well, try. Wants him to play some loud music. No, no, I'm going to play something soft and soothing. Like, can you just like be a pal? I kind of went through an event. I'm trying to not hear. I want to go home. I don't want to dance. I don't want to hear soft music. And he's just like, it's opposite day for him. Like, thanks, you're no help at all. You're like Barnabas with the story about giving blood. Thank you. Surprised you guys aren't friends. But while we're hearing this howling going on, we're in Dr. Woodard's office, and he's looking down into the microscope, and he can hear that howling too. He doesn't look up or anything, but it's still going on. John Rogers is talking about the numbers. It's a YouTube thing. I wondered what that was about. You can change those numbers if you want. Like, I assume your name's kind of common, so it might already be taken. But, I mean, if you want to change those numbers to something else, you can. Lisa Gray says, I remember a rhyme from childhood. Yeah, I know these words. Omiak, kayak, mukluk, duck pick. Words I've never seen in my entire life come up in my chat room. I love it. Thomas Collins says, I imagine it's like a Jamaican bobsled. It's probably, I'm sure that language is so beautiful when a native speaker speaks it, but then, like, an American who's never seen those words and is probably saying them wrong, like if I were to read Romanian, I don't know what it's like when you have the little V over letters. I am sorry if I'm butchering it. I'm not making at least it's laughing at me. Like I'm not trying to butcher it. I just really don't know. I would speak Spanish with an American accent, so I just I like coming across stuff I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to butcher it, but that's just, that's just the way it comes out. At least I'm not butchering my native language. At least I don't think I do. So now we are in the drawing room, and it's Barnabas and Willie, and like usual, Willie is upset. So Willie's saying to Barnabas, like, let me go away, far away, please. Barnabas says, well, but I need you here. You know that. Willie says, they're going to find me. Barnabas, find you? Are you lost? Willie, that doctor, he's going to look at that slide. Barnabas, yes, I think he probably will. Willie, and you know what he's going to see. Barnabas, yes, indeed I do. Willie, and they're going to come and get me. Barnabas, and if they do come and get you, if they do ask you several questions, what are you going to tell them? Willie, nothing. Barnabas, are you sure? Willie, I won't tell them anything. Barnabas, they may appeal to your sympathy for the girl. Willie, I have no sympathy. Barnabas, they might hurt you, and you know you can't stand physical pain. Willie's still won't tell them anything. So Barnabas grabs his shirt. He says, you would. You know you would. You betrayed me before, and you probably would again. Willie says, never, never. So Barnabas just pushes him down on the floor. Dude lands hard on the floor, but I was looking before this. I think he landed on his wallet. I think he's okay, but dude hits the floor hard. Willie's looking up at him. He's like, I don't understand. If you're so worried I'll betray you, why did you let him take my blood? Why? Barnabas, oh, Willie, you have so little faith in me, don't you? Did you really think that I would betray you? Willie pushes himself up. What? Barnabas, do you think that I would be more unloyal to you than you are to me? Willie, I am loyal. Barnabas, and you think that I am not? Willie, I only know that you let him take my blood. Barnabas, yes, I let him take the blood. So he turns away from him and he walks up to one of the candles that's up on the mantle. He's got something in his pocket and he holds it up. It's this little tiny flat piece of glass. Willie walks up behind him. He says, what's that? Barnabas, a delicate flower painted on glass. Willie, you switched the slides? You changed them. Barnabas, you forgot that I paid a visit to a doctor's office. Any number of blood slides were made available to me at that time. Willie, and the doctor, he won't find anything. Barnabas, he won't find anything very important. Willie, and they won't come after me. Barnabas, do you think that I would let them come after you? Willie did. No, I know you wouldn't let anything happen to me. Barnabas, you knew nothing of the kind. Willie, yes, I did. I knew you'd protect me. Barnabas, no, you didn't. You didn't know it then, and you don't know it now. I protected you then. I may again. And then again, I may not. Willie says, no, you will. I know you will. Barnabas, we shall see. So we are at the Blue Whale now, and Willie, or not Willie, but Dr. Woodard is there. He's sitting at the table with Burke and Victoria, and he's just saying that he didn't find anything unusual with Willie's blood. He says he's type A positive without even a trace of a cold. I'll probably never know what I saw in Maggie's blood. There was a substance there that her blood should have rejected, but it didn't. I felt like I was watching some kind of unholy union. Burke, do you have any idea what that substance was? Dr. Woodard's, I've got some idea. Victoria says, what is it? Doctor says it was something completely foreign. As if her blood was accepting something inhuman. Then we hear the howling outside, which gets them all on edge, and we see the drawing room for the credits. Lisa Gray, poor Willie. I know, right? What the hell? Like, what made that smack sound when he hit the ground? Like, did his hand hit the concrete? Like, go back and watch it. Just slap. It's not like he had, like, bare skin out there. It just... Dan, yeah, it sounded like he hit his head on the floor. Like, no, I think he landed on his rump, but honestly, I mean, don't worry. I was checking him out before this. He keeps his wallet in his back right pocket, and when Barnabas chucked him down, that's the side he fell on. So he hurt his wallet. Oh my God. And I speak two languages, English and bad English. Like I know Scottish, but those aren't. I don't think those are Scottish words. Not Scotch Gaelic, but like the way Scottish people speak nowadays. All right, episode 246 aired on June 5th, 1967. It is the next day, day 71. It's morning. Finally. Day 70 is a long time. I thought it was 2 days, but it's just one. It's just one very long night. Well, Liz is in the living room. She's sort of pacing around a little bit. She's got that checkered outfit that makes me think it's Chanel, so she's wearing that. It's got like the top is a solid color, and yes, it has sleeves, but she never has her arms through the sleeves. She just sort of wears it draped over her shoulders. I think she always wears it like that. And then I'm pretty sure we don't see it. I'm pretty sure that top is sleeveless, but that's just that was the way she wears it. Oh, with pearls. But there's a knock on the door, so she crosses through the foyer right when Carolyn's coming down the steps. And, Liz is like, I'll get it. And what Carolyn is wearing, it's like, like a skirt suit, but it all seems to be like the same uniform color, like a medium gray color. And she's wearing a little cameo necklace. I don't think we've seen that for a while, but that's what she's got on. But Liz opens the door, and Richard Garner is there. We haven't seen this dude in a minute. Pretty sure it's the same actor too, but he's there. Carolyn's like, well, I didn't know you were coming here today. Richard says I hadn't planned on it until Liz called. What's the emergency? Liz looks at Carolyn. She's like, let's go into the living room. So they're in the living room. As soon as they're out of the foyer, Victoria comes from the kitchen door. She looks like she's dressed up for a date. She's got this sleeveless dress on. It's dark, and it's got 6 buttons on the front. She's got like 2 on the collar, 2 here, and then 2 more lower. Again, hair up. Like it's first thing in the morning. It looks like she's dressed up for a date. Like I'm not complaining. She looks cute. But that's what she's wearing. I don't know. Maybe it's her day off. But she looks at Carolyn. She says, did I hear Richard Garner come in? Carolyn, yes, he's here because of some emergency. Victoria says, it's probably something to do with the cannery. Carolyn, I don't think so. I think something's going on. Did you hear Mother up last night, pacing in her room the whole night long? I feel like something terrible is about to happen. Like we're sitting on a powder keg that's about to explode. So Carolyn said, bad vibes. Mom's up all night pacing. Suddenly her lawyer's here. WTF, man. Well, we're in the living room, and Liz and I was going to say Richard, they're both sitting on the couch, and he says, well, you tell me to drop everything and come right over, and now you're dragging your feet. What is it? Liz says, well, I'd like your legal advice on a personal matter. I assume I'm still legally married to Paul. Would it be difficult for me to get a divorce? Richard says, no judge would refuse to grant a divorce to a lady whose husband ran off 18 years ago. The law takes care of these things. You post a public notice, and that if Paul doesn't appear to protest it, the judge says that it's uncontested, and he grants it. Liz says, well, how long would that take? Richard says, about 90 days. Liz, that long? I mean, there's no rush. Richard, why are you thinking of divorce after all these years? Liz, I want to break off all ties with Paul. Richard says, I often thought you should remarry. Liz says, I'm not thinking of it. Besides, who would I marry? Just then Jason walks in. "Yeah, good morning." Liz, the doors were closed. But Jason introduces himself to Richard Garner and he says, that name's familiar. You must be Liz's lawyer. Liz says, thanks, Richard, for driving up here. So Richard says, do you want me to start drawing up the divorce papers? Liz, I'll phone you. Jason, there's no need to delay, is there? Liz says to Richard again, I'll phone you. So he shows himself out. Jason says, so you've decided to get the ball rolling. Liz closes the doors back up. She says, I haven't decided what I'm going to do. Jason says, you're going to get a divorce and then you're going to marry me. Liz, how could I marry a man I detest? I loathe the sight of you. Jason, oh, that's too bad, because I'm very fond of you. We're going to get married, and we're going to be happy. So it's later on, Liz is sitting there by the fireplace, just staring down into the fire, lost in her own thoughts. But Jason walks in, not Jason, pardon me, but Roger comes in, offers to pour Liz a brandy, and she accepts. Like, girl, you need a drink. But Roger's talking about how he earned his salary today. All the secretaries have been staying at home because of the attacks, and even he had to help with the paperwork. It's like, well, everyone did, except Jason, who didn't bother to come in. Even when he's there, he's about as useful as David would be in the office. Liz asks, have they found Maggie Evans? Roger, not yet. Sheriff had to call in the state police. Liz tells him, I saw Richard Garner today. I'm thinking of going ahead with a divorce. Roger says, well, I'm delighted to hear it. You should have done it years ago. Liz, apparently it won't be much trouble. Roger says, congratulations. You'll be free and clear of him if he ever shows up. No legal ties to you. Liz, I doubt he'll ever show up. Roger. Roger says, neither one of us did have much luck with marriage. Perhaps we were never meant to be married. Neither one of us. Liz, I wouldn't say I was never meant to be married. Roger, you always said your marriage was one of the worst mistakes of your life. You wouldn't consider a second marriage. Liz, oh, I might. If I met the right man. Roger, I never thought I'd hear you talk like this. Who would you marry? You haven't seen anyone outside of this family for years. Liz, I was speaking hypothetically. Roger, are you hinting at something? Liz, I'm not. Roger, Liz. Just then Jason walks in. Oh, good evening. Sees Roger standing there with his drink. He says, I wonder if I might have a sip of your brandy. I want to try to say this. I love this line. Oh my God. Roger, I'm surprised you ask. You always make yourself so completely at home. Oh my God, dude is so sassy. Great line. You always make yourself so completely at home. Like, Jason says, well, only because Liz makes me feel so much a part of the family. Roger, whose family? Jason, why Liz's family, of course. Roger, Liz may consider you a member of this family. I certainly don't. Jason, oh, well, you may have to change your opinion about that. Ask Liz. Roger, Liz, what is he talking about? She's like, I'm sure I don't know. I have to talk to Mrs. Johnson about dinner. Walks out of the room, but she like stops about halfway into the foyer. That was just her excuse to get the hell out of the room. Lisa, sass is refreshing. Oh my. Roger's a straight up asshole sometimes. He's got some great lines. Dude, you always make yourself so completely at home. Like he's certainly gonna not say anything. He's going to say something about a situation he doesn't like. It just dials the sass up to an 11. But now it's nighttime. We're in Roger's study. Victoria's already in there, so she's looking for a book. But Carolyn comes in. She asks if Victoria will ride into town with her. She wants to go to the drugstore, and she's afraid to go by herself. Victoria's like, sure, you shouldn't go alone. I can read to David another time. Carolyn, do you think they'll ever find Maggie? Victoria, I'm starting to doubt it. Carolyn, that madman must have taken her away with him. I can't help thinking that might have been one of us. And who's going to be next? Victoria, please don't talk about it. Just then Roger comes in like he was looking for Carolyn. Oh, there you are. I've got some news for you. Either your mother's lost her mind or I have. She is thinking of divorcing Paul. Carolyn, that's no surprise considering how she feels about him. Well, she hinted very strongly that she's thinking of remarrying. Carolyn, who would she marry? Roger, who's the only man she's seen outside of the family who's insinuated his way into Collinwood and the family business. Jason. Victoria, I can't believe she'd even think of marrying him. Carolyn, she detests him no matter what she says. Roger, all I know is he hinted he was going to be a member of the family soon, and Liz didn't contradict him. Carolyn, Liz wouldn't, or, my mother wouldn't think of marrying him unless there was something, unless he was threatening her. Roger, he snaps his fingers and she jumps. Carolyn says, we'll find out what he knows about her and then expose him. Roger, I can't help but think it's something to do with that locked room in the basement. Carolyn's, she had something hidden in there, and Jason knows about it, and that's his hold over her. If only we could find the key. Roger, it's no surprise you haven't found it. It's on a chain around your mother's neck. The nurse removed it when she went to the hospital, and it was the first thing she asked for when she came back. So he leaves the room. Carolyn says to Vicky, like, I've got to find out what's in that room. I might have broken in by now myself. Oh, David must have done it. I don't know. I don't think she's quite that. I think she would fess up to it if it was her, but I might have broken in by now. Now we're in the living room, and Liz is saying, how dare you imply we're going to be married? I haven't said yes yet. A few years in prison is better than a lifetime with you. Damn, woman! Jason, yes, but what about the look on Carolyn's face when she finds out you murdered her father? Liz, don't. I'm not going to marry you. Oh, what's up, Brian? How's it going? Says happy Saturday, everybody. Yeah, it's going all right. A few years in prison is better than a lifetime with you. But just then Carolyn walks up to her mom. She's, Mother, please give me the key to the basement. Liz, not this again. I don't know where it is. Carolyn, it's on a chain around your neck. I can see it. And I noticed this at the start of the episode too, because I'm usually looking for a necklace. But even then, you can see like just a little hint of a chain around her neck there, hitting the light. So we can see it too. But she starts to reach for it, and Liz grabs her hand. She says, "No, if you care for me at all, please stop." Carolyn says, I know Jason has some kind of hold over you, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with that room. I think there's more in that room than some old clothes. If you don't give me the key, I'll break in. Liz, I forbid it. Carolyn goes on. She says, I have to find a way to stop Jason from doing what he's doing to you. Liz says, please, I beg of you, just let me alone. She runs out of the room. I don't think she's faking either. She really takes off. We don't see her anymore. And I love that they had this whole conversation in front of Jason, but then he walks up to Carolyn and he says, I think you should get into that room. I'll even get the key for you. I'll just ask Liz for it. Carolyn, and she'll give it to you when she won't give it to me. I don't believe a word you say. I won't rest until you're out of Collinwood. Jason says, oh, well, we'll see about that. And he leaves her in the room. And then we see Roger's study for the credits. Brian says, I'm about to be drinking a few cold ones. That might be a fishing emoji. Get the fish drunk. Yeah, why don't they do it like that? And they'll just they won't know which way is up. And then you can just scoop them up with your net. Okay. All right, episode 247 aired on June 6th, 1967. Now it is the next day. It's day 72, but it's right about sunset. Like there's still light outside, but the day's almost over. And we're at the Evans cottage. Sam's there, and it's like he's picking up his paintbrush and his what's that thing called that they put all like the thing that they hold, and it's got all the different paint on it. Like he picks that up, and he's looking at the canvas, but he just sets it all back down. Like he just can't doesn't he can't focus enough to do any work. So he walks over to the table with the bottle, starts pouring himself a drink. Danny says, just move the bones without Jason knowing. Problem solved. No DNA back then. Yeah. I don't know, like, well, if the basement is like, did they concrete over it? Is it just like packed earth? Because like she can't have anybody do it for her. She would have to be down there digging herself and have to make an excuse for why she's got dirt all over herself. She could make everybody leave for like a month and then dig him up and then just chuck the bones off at Widow's Hill. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. That would totally work. Okay. Maybe she gets scared by looking at dead bodies, so that's why she doesn't do it. Oh, Brian says, "LOL, can't waste my bait or my brewskis." Yeah, yeah. What if they like hard liquor and not beer, and then palate? Yeah, palate. Thank you, guys. That a roundish board, and you put your thumb through it, and you got all the paint on it. Palate. Okay, yeah, that thing. Lisa Gray says hi to Brian. I just cracked open a ginger uh kombucha and says cheers. I swear I've heard that word before. It's a type of beer, right? Ginger beer, made from real ginger. But I don't know what that's like. You go to work and you're just too frustrated and distracted, so you just set it all back down. And but as he's pouring a little bit of a drink there's a knock on the door. Sam opens it up, and it's the sheriff there. Sam asks if there's any news, and sheriff tells him no news. Not even the FBI have found anything. He says, "We think she's been kidnapped. Since there hasn't been a ransom demand, she must have been taken for another reason." Sam asks, "Well, what's the official opinion?" Sheriff says, "We're starting to think that Maggie might be dead." Sam says, "I think of that day and night. I can't accept it." Sheriff says, "I've triple checked everything. We've talked to everyone, and I don't even have a suspect. But we're going to keep going." So there's a knock at the door, I'll come in. It's Burke's there. Sheriff's, I hope I have some good news next time I see you. He heads out. Sam says to Burke, "Looks like the cops think Maggie's dead." Burke says, "I don't believe that for a minute." Sam says, "She's been gone too long. I'm never going to see her again." Burke says, "I know she'll be found." "Hey, who's been cooking for you lately? How about you let me buy you dinner? Steak, some drinks, conversation about anything you want. We can talk about your pet peeve, pop art." Sam, thanks. I'm just not hungry. Burke says, "We'll come out anyway." Sam says, "I can't." Burke looks at the easel there with the canvas on it. He says, "You been working?" Sam says, "I just don't feel like it." Burke, "You know how Maggie would feel about it." Sam, "She'd give it to me for not working." I've got that portrait of Barnabas Collins to finish. Maybe I can go up there and work on it. Maybe up in that creepy old joint, won't think about what's going on with Maggie. So it sounds like Burke's offering to drive him up there. But before Sam heads out, he's got this pipe sitting on There's because there's that little table off to the side that's got the alcohol, and then there's one closer to the door that's got usually it'll have like a phone on it and a little clock. It's sitting right there. It's one of them, like, fancy curved pipes. It's got some kind of engraving on it. It's white, big old, how like a tobacco pipe, one of those, one of the big fancy ones. He grabs that, and they both head out. Oh, Patrick says a pallet with the proper spelling. It's not like a pallet, like a wooden pallet spelled like that. It's spelled Pallete. Yeah, more French sounding. So now we're at the old house in the drawing room, and Willie it's like he's got a chair flipped over, and he's got a hammer, and he's just like banging away, doing something, fixing on it. He's got a turtleneck on, but it's a lighter colored turtleneck. I went back and checked. And then he's got the sleeves pushed up on it. Usually, like, it kind of seems like he doesn't want to show off his wrists a lot of the time for some reason, so he doesn't usually have his forearms exposed. But he's working away with the hammer. He's wearing an apron too. I don't know if we've seen the apron yet. It's got really thin vertical stripes. From a distance, you can't tell, but then we get up close and you can see it. But he's working away. Knock on the door makes him nervous, so he goes over and checks, opens the door, and then we get it from the perspective of the porch. But Sam's there, just, hello, Mr. Collins at home? Willie just, no. Sam, oh, well, I wonder if I could see the painting. I want to work on it. Willie, I don't know what he wants to do with it. Sam, well, he wants it finished, doesn't he? Only way to finish it is to work on it. Willie, I don't know if you can work on it here. There's so many repairs getting done, might get in the way. He's pretty busy. He's out of town. Sam, well, if you wouldn't mind if I take a look at it. I haven't seen it in a little while. Willie, I don't know. I'm kind of busy. Sam, well, I'll just take a minute. Willie, I'm not supposed to let anyone in here. Sam, I'm not a stranger. I just want to have a quick look at it. Willie, okay. Okay. Lets him in. So Sam walks in and he heads into the drawing room, but Willie walks over by the steps and looks up the stairs for a minute before he goes into the drawing room and joins him. Sam's looking at the portrait there. He's like, yeah, little work on the background and some on the hands, and that'd finish it up. Willie says, well, like I said, I don't know when Mr. Collins can sit for you. Sam, but doesn't matter. He can sit whenever it's convenient. Willie says, I don't think that would work out too well. Hey, why don't you take the picture home with you and you can work on it there? Sam says, that's what I wanted to do all along. I'll put it in the station wagon. So there's a little table there in front of the camera. He sets his pipe down there, picks up the portrait, he starts heading to the door with it. It's like, I'll be back in a minute for the easel. So Willie's like, hey, wait a minute. I tell you, I'll carry the easel out for you. No sense in making 2 trips, huh? So this thing is taller than Willie. Willie's about 5'9". This thing has to be maybe 6 feet tall. It's this big wooden thing with a big, base. It's at an angle to set the, for what an easel looks like. But Willie just picks that up like it's nothing, starts carrying it out the door. Gets it. We can see the cameras in such a way where we can see right outside the door to the old house. But he gets it out there, sets it down, closes the doors up. As soon as he gets the doors closed, down comes Maggie from the stairs. And she's always kind of just in a daze, like it's like she half remembers the places she's in, like she recognizes it, but she doesn't. So she's always looking around. Walks into the drawing room, just looking at stuff. Sees that table there with the pipe, and she just picks it up and she's looking at it. And then she holds it up to her chest like but then it's like she hears something, because as soon as she gets a hold of that pipe, she takes it with her, and then she goes right back up the stairs. And then as soon as she's out of the shop, the front doors open up again, and there's Willie and Sam, and Sam's like, my pipe, I must have left it in here. I know I had it with me when I came in. I think I left it on that table over there. Both walk into the drawing room, and Willie says, I don't see it. Gets down and look, it's not on the floor. He says, maybe you dropped it outside. Sam says, no, I don't think so. I must be getting absent-minded. Look, if you find it, keep it for me. It's a good old friend. I've had it for a long time. So he's, Willie's showing him out. He's like, yeah, I'll do that. So when Sam's gone, Willie goes back into the drawing room, and he's looking around a little bit. He gets back up to that little table there, and he stops. And then he looks up at the ceiling, like, he's thinking, like, did she come down here? Then later on, Willie is just fixing up with that. It's like he's hammering the bottom of the chair, like it's flipped upside down, and it's like there's these thick straps going like that underneath the bottom of the chair to hold the cushion from the bottom, and it's like he's nailing the last of that into the frame, and he gets that done. And he sets the chair over there by the bay window. Then he looks over and he sees Maggie's come down the stairs. He's like, hey, you're not supposed to be down here unless you're told to. You got to remember to do what you're told. Were you down here a few minutes ago? Maggie says, I don't want to be up there. Walks into the drawing room, and she's just doing her looking around thing. Willie says, did you take anything from this room? Maggie, I don't want to be in that room. Willie says, you got to stay in that room. You got to learn to do what you're told. So Maggie turns around and she actually looks at him. She rarely makes eye contact with people in this state, but she looks him in the face. She says, who am I? Willie says, you're Josette. Maggie says, Josette. Am I Josette? Willie says, you're Josette. Now please remember it. Maggie says, I keep thinking that I'm someone else. Someone else. Willie says, you're Josette Collins, and this is your house. Do you understand? Maggie says, I don't know. I think I am, but I'm not sure. I can't be Josette Collins. I'm someone else. So Willie kind of gets tough with her. He's really not so direct and forceful with people, but he kind of puts on his tough voice. He says, now you better get back upstairs, you hear? Maggie says, "No, I don't want to go up to that room." Willie says, "You better. Barnabas will be here very soon." Maggie, "Barnabas will be here?" Willie, "That's right. Now you better get back up there and stay there." Maggie, anytime she hears Barnabas's name now, she just starts freaking out. She's like, "Barnabas, Barnabas," and she starts backing up and flutters back up the stairs. She's almost got to hold that dress out because it's kind of big, so so she's always got one hand that's kind of busy holding the dress. But she goes back upstairs, and Willie watches after her. I guess to make sure she doesn't just hang out on the steps or something. But she got scared, so she ran back up there. But then he crosses back through the drawing room and goes through that door that's to the kitchen and other parts of the house. He goes through there. And now we are in a new location. This is the basement for the old house. Now, don't think you have to look at everything all at once because we are going to eventually spend so much time down here you won't know what day it is. But it starts out with the shot of a steel door with just maybe these three bars in this rectangle hole in this door, and the walls are these big stones, but then it pulls back farther and we can see some pillar candles. Those have been lit, and there's a column, and then we see the rest of the walls for this room are just brick. And then there's in the back where the stairs are, there's these like three stone arches built into the wall. And the stairs, my first thought when I saw these are slabs in Minecraft. If and when I build this, instead of using stair blocks, I'm gonna use slabs, which I prefer to make stairs out of anyway. Because it's not like a steep the way the stairs are when you're going up to the second floor in the old house. It's more of a like they're farther apart, so you've got more area to put your foot. It's not like a drastic up. It's a really slow. So as you're going down the stairs and coming up the stairs, you can be seen by the camera. Cobwebs, of course, and it's really coming down the stairs really slowly. Oh, what's up, Beach Chap? Glad you made it. We can hear the clock chiming, like it must be the clock in town chiming. And I counted this about 3 times. It chimes 19 times. Now, either this is the one day of the year when Collinsport runs on the 24-hour clock, or they're just doing it to be dramatic. Okay, if it's 19 o'clock, it's 7 p.m. I guess it would be dark by then, but why is it still? It was fun to try to count this. I'm like, okay, 11, 12. Wow, Barnabas slept in late. 13, what? So if you hear a lot of chimes, it's just to be scary and dramatic because we've never been down here before, but it does chime that many times. But Willie gets down to the bottom of the stairs, and the camera pans over a little bit, and we can see a coffin. Technically a casket. And that starts to open up all by itself. And Willie's just standing there watching it, looking super nervous. And we see it's Barnabas pushing open, I guess it'd be like that, pushing open the lid. He says, "What is it, Willie? Come closer, Willie." Willie just doesn't do it right away, but he walks up to it. Then we see Barnabas's hand on his neck. He says, "What do you have to tell me?" And Willie kind of sounds like he's being choked a little bit here. I won't do that. But he says, Sam Evans was here. He wanted to see about painting. Barnabas, did you let him in? Willie, I had to. Barnabas, you stupid fool. Willie, he didn't see anything. He doesn't know anything. I swear. Barnabas, you can't take a chance like that. Willie, he wanted to work on the painting here. I told him to take it home so he wouldn't have to come back here. So Barnabas, he's got a hand on his neck, like I said. He shoves him back. Willie goes stumbling back into the brick wall, and then he kind of pushes himself up back against it. I guess so we don't have to see Barnabas swinging his legs out and scooting out of the casket. We don't see that, but the next thing we do, because that's not scary. But the next thing we do see is Barnabas. He's standing up. Willie's down there, cowering on the floor. This is the second time he's chucked this man onto the ground. Barnabas says, we can't have people coming in this house. It wouldn't do for anyone to find our guest. Nor would it do for anyone to find me here. Willie says, no one will find you. Barnabas says, I'm very vulnerable here. You know that, don't you? Willie, yes. Barnabas, I trust you will never try to take advantage of it. Willie, never, I swear. So he stands up, but he's still staying back there against the wall. Barnabas, you know you can't escape me. Willie, I know. Barnabas, then we have nothing to worry about. So he goes over to the stairs and slowly walks up 8 stairs. I had to count in case I build it. And Willie just stays down there, back against the wall. We have nothing to worry about. But then we see in the foyer Maggie coming down the stairs. She's holding on to that pipe. And we get a voiceover. The only other time we've gotten a voiceover was with Willie. But it's Maggie, she probably doesn't have the energy to say this, so she's thinking it. She says, I'm someone else. She's looking at the pipe. She says, I know this. I know what it is. It belongs to someone. Someone I've got to find. I've got to take it to someone. I've got to take it there. So she turns around and walks out the front door and leaves the door open. So over at the Evans cottage, Sam's there. He's painting, working on Barnabas's painting. Bert comes in, knocked on the door at first. He doesn't just barge in, but he has a brown paper bag with them. Hey, gonna see that you have some dinner, no matter what. It's he brought him a ham and Swiss. Sounds good. But he hands Sam a sandwich and sees the portrait he's working on. He's like, oh, that picture's coming along very good. Interesting expression on the face. Sam says it's one of the most interesting faces I've ever painted. I'd say it's more challenging, though. I always try to incorporate some element of the subject's character in their expression, but no matter how I work over the eyes, they always seem to come out cruel. Burke, funny, he doesn't seem to be that kind of a man. Sam's like, no, he doesn't. Oh, Patrick says it's been great back with all you wonderful Americans. Thanks, Nikki. Take care, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Good to see you, man. I've been thinking about you. Glad the surgery went well. Now we're back in the drawing room. Barnabas is sitting down and Willie's lighting candles. Barnabas tells him, "You must keep an eye out for David." Willie says, "I'll keep him away." Barnabas asks, "How's Josette this evening?" Willie's, "All right, I guess." Barnabas, "What do you mean?" Willie, "She was down here." Barnabas leans forward in his chair. He says, "She came down the stairs." Willie, "It gets harder to keep her in her room." Barnabas, "We may have to lock her in." Willie, "If she keeps asking who she is, I tell her she's Josette over and over. Sometimes she believes it, sometimes no." Barnabas, "Bring her down. Now." So Willie leaves. Barnabas stands up. He starts lighting candles over there on the mantle. And then off camera, we can hear Willie screaming for Josette. He yells her name, "Where are you?" So Barnabas hauls ass across the room from the mantle over to the stairs. So he meets Willie as he's coming down the stairs. Patrick says, "Oh, you're making me go red, Nikki." "Oh, yeah, no, don't worry about it. I always think about you guys." I don't see anybody for a while. It's like, wait a minute. What are they doing? Well, I mean, like, I know it's late there, so you might be in bed, but what if it's something more serious? But yeah, that's a relief. You don't see somebody after a while, then you find out they're okay. So, something good happened. Great. But Willie's hauling ass down the stairs after Barnabas just hauled ass across the drawing room. So they're there in the foyer. Barnabas is like, "What's wrong?" Willie says, "She's not up there." Then he looks up, he sees the door's open. It's like, "The door, she must have went out." Barnabas, "That door's supposed to be locked." So they both go running out of the front door. Danny Barnabas is like, "What the fuck did I get myself into?" Because you can't really put out, you can't call the cops. "Yeah, the girl I kidnapped just vanished. Can you help me find her? Her name? Josette Collins. I don't care if you've never heard of her before, just help me find her." Can't really do that, so they book it out the door, and they close the door behind them. They don't just leave it open like Josette did, like let all of the hot or cold air out, however they decide to keep it. But we're back at the Evans cottage, and Sam is over there painting, but he's just I can't seem to get the eyes right. I guess I'll work on another part of it. Burke's like, "Well, why don't you take a break? I think the coffee's done. I'll go grab it." So we can hear Burke. He's, in the kitchen, and he's not on camera, but he's saying to Sam, he's like, "Hey, maybe I'll let you do a portrait of me one of these days when I need a status symbol. Might even let you paint a smile on my face." So they both get a laugh out of that. But Sam looks over, because this whole time they were talking, Sam's looking at the portrait. He's not looking out the window, where Maggie's just standing there, just kind of looking inside. But Sam turns around, he sees her, he's like, "Maggie!" And that seems to kind of scare her. But Bert comes running out of the kitchen as Sam is making a beeline for the door. He's like, "Maggie, she's standing right outside." So he runs out the front door. Burke's right with them. He's hollering for Maggie. He's in the front yard. It's kind of a different shot. It's just nighttime, a little bit of a fence, with trees and all this stuff. But he's yelling for Maggie. Keeps hollering for her. Burke's like, I don't see her out here." Sam says, "She was just standing right there." So he runs over to where she was standing at, like we see from the inside where the camera just was. There's Sam looking for Maggie. He's looking around, he's yelling her name. She's not there. She just keeps hollering for her. His voice really carries too. And that's where it ends off. We see the basement and the old house for the credits. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy how okay, David's already found Maggie. Maggie just broke out and she doesn't realize it. She just recognizes this pipe that, we've never seen before, but I'm sure she has. So yeah, Maggie's out. She's free. I don't know how long she's gonna be out for, but she had the right instinct to get the hell out of that house that she really doesn't recognize. And I'm glad you guys had a couple of extra hours to spend with me today. Remember to smash the like button on the way out and get you some good sleep, get something to eat, stay hydrated, stay cool, stay based and sexy. And you guys are awesome for getting through a full 2 hour show with me. So I will. I'm just kind of excited that this is wrapping up in 2 hours. So it's great to see everybody. You guys make all of the bullshit worth it. I'm fairly certain that you guys can't hear the air conditioner behind me, so that's good too. You can watch Dark Shadows for free on Tubi right now. Link in the channel description and the show description. John Rogers says good night, everyone. Danny says thanks, Nikki. Yeah, thank you guys. You do want to check some of these out for yourself. Like Liz has some really good one-liners. So did Roger. Uh, yeah, it's not nice to see Willie getting chucked all around the set. But Maggie's free. Maybe she's gonna be found and get to go home, and might have to cosplay as some girl she's never heard of before. I don't know. We'll find out next time. But yeah, love you guys again. You guys are the best. We'll see you in a chat room in the meantime. Brian says, great to see you, Nikki. Yeah, thank you. It's always great to see you guys. I think I already said that, but yeah, it really is. You guys keep me on track. And T says, take care, Nikki and chat. I'll talk to you here soon. Good night, folks. Yeah, good night to everybody. Everybody take it easy. Have a good one. Lisa Gray says, thanks, Nikki. Good descriptives. You paint a good picture. I love you. Yeah, thanks. Sorry for butchering that language, but I want to go to says, tis well. Yeah, tis well. So I love you guys again. You guys are all the best. Until next time.